Hi folks, Fairy Village Woods, just a quick video. This one really shouldn't take long at all. There's one correction to make and one little tiny subject to do. Right, the correction. I've said before that we need to be of heaven. That isn't true. Not entirely, we'll put it this way. Part of us needs to be of heaven, yes. But if we're going to walk, as we should do, if we're going to be bringing heaven down, if we're going to be giving our body, mind and soul to Father, then our body has to be of heaven. But our nature, and who we are, has to be of God. Well, because if we are sons, little s, of God, and we're basically going to be walking as the Son walked. The Son was the nature of Father. So we also have to be the nature of Father, of Abba. And so, that's a different thing completely, therefore, than what I said. So I got it wrong. Well, in truth, my understanding was growing, but I still got it wrong. So there you go. That's the point. I will always admit when I've got it wrong, and when I make mistakes in that way. That brings us to the second point, the second subject, which is talking about things like friendship and talking about the fact of who you have to be forbearing with. Now, the reality is, I may have covered this the other day, I'm not sure. I know it's on my mind. Whether I covered it, I don't know. So I'll do it here quickly. Anyone you work with, anyone who's, so basically you have a work family, you have your Christian family, church, and you have your biological family. These are the people that you have to forbear with. Forbear with means they can be a penny arse, they can be someone who drags your life down, they can be a real bloody annoyance to be around, they can be joy robbing, that sort of stuff. But because they're part of that group, you're going to interact with them from time to time. And when you do, you have to be forbearing. You have to put up with that and not tear the person's throat out and stuff like that, because that's not how we should be doing things. But anyone who is not part of those groups, you do not have to forbear with in any way, shape or form. If anyone is a negative influence in your life, cut them out. In the end, you have a journey. You're responsible for your journey. Anyone who is along your journey and enjoys tripping you up and stuff like that, get them out of your life. There are people like that. On Monday I went for a walk with someone who's like that, who had basically got nasty with me before, tried to use things I've said against me and wouldn't listen to me, but just kept on blah 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 blah. Basically saying that I was psychotic and I should be in a mental hospital because I have faith in God, that sort of crap. Accusing me of, when I was talking about sons of God, accusing me of talking about a cult, and wouldn't take anything from me to say, no, there may very well have been a cult in that name years ago, but I'm not talking about that cult, I'm talking about something very, very new. Nope, you were talking about that cult. He was telling me I was trying to encourage people to get involved in some sick demonic cult. Why? Because he'd seen something on BBC years before talking about this demonic cult. And because he'd seen that, he saw something similar to what I was saying. It had to be the same thing. And he was right, I was wrong, even though I'm the one who's saying this stuff. But he knows what's in my mind. And he accuses me of being a narcissist. Right? Oh, that was one of his other accusations. Accused me of being a narcissist. You know, he even went back to something that I'd said back in 2013 to use that against me. Yeah. 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 That's the point. There are people who like to try and trip you up. There are people who like to try and do stuff like that. And yeah, your life's better without them in it. Really. Because it's your journey. And because it's your journey, you have to live your life according to how you see it, not according to how other people see it. Especially people that want to accuse you of stuff. You're going to see your life according to how they see it. I've said quite clearly in these videos, time and time again, I am not a people pleaser. And I have no interest in being a people pleaser. So someone says, this is who you are, I'm saying it, and you have to agree with me, otherwise I don't want to speak to you again. All right, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Go on, sod off. Bye-bye then. If you're making that sort of claim to me, then if you expect me to please you over being true to myself, no, bye-bye. That's the reality. I mean, I've had other people in my life before who were very, very similar, who were joy robbers, who would see that you were happy and they would do anything to take that away because they couldn't stand it. They couldn't stand seeing you that way. Well, why would we want people like that in our lives? That's a fair question, isn't it? You don't have to. But as I say, if they are a work colleague, until you find another job, you're just going to put up with that. You're just going to try and, you know who the person is, you know what they're like. So just sort of deal with it the best you can, really. Again, if they're a family member, the same. If they're a church member, the same. You know, pray for the person. But you're going to have to deal with them. And so if you're going to have to deal with them, then you're going to have to deal with them. But anyone you don't have to deal with, no. Do not allow people like that to have an impact in your life, on your mental health. Because that's what they want to do. Basically, some people will accuse you of being insane because they're trying to drive you there. They're trying to drive you to be insane. That way they can justify them accusing you of being insane. You know, do you want to give them all the rope they need to hang you? You know, don't give them anything. When people have done this once, you say, okay, you decide whether you give them another chance. When they've done it twice, no. Bye-bye. It has to be. It has to be. When they've done it 2 or 3 times, if they've done it 3 times, then more fool you because you've allowed them to do it. When they've done it once, it may just be a one-off. But if they do it again, it's not a one-off, is it? It's part of who they are. Yeah, when I've talked previously about if you're in a toxic relationship, that's not just talking about, you know, someone who you are, you know, physically, sexually intertwined with. Any relationship that's toxic, get out of it. The people may very well say, I'm sorry. They may very well say that, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. But then, if they've already done it twice, it's part of who they are. It's part of who they are as a person. You're not trying to condemn that person, you're just saying, you're not right for me. There may be other people that you're right for, but you're not right for me. I'm choosing not to have that in my life. And that's fair. It's your life. You get to choose what influences you have in your life. Because it is your life. Yeah. Well, the reality is, folks, is that, you know, when it comes down to it, there are people involved in other people's lives who, if they continue, they are going to derail that person. they are going to cause that person to have a serious fall because of who they are, because they have a bad influence on that person. The thing about Christianity is that, as I say, a lot of people think that because they're a Christian, they're supposed to suffer, which is absolute and total stupidity. That doesn't glorify God in any way, shape or form. Of course you're not supposed to suffer. That doesn't glorify God. You're not supposed to have people in your life that make you suffer. Now, okay, sometimes God will bring people into your life that can be a pain in the arse because God wants to highlight something in your life. God wants to bring something about, to bring something else about. That's going to happen. When that happens, you can't do anything about it. You can't get those people out of your life. You just need to learn what it is you need to learn. And then, you will part ways from those people. But until you learn what you need to learn, you're in that. So that's a situation where, again, you've got to learn to be forbearing of that situation. But you've got to go to God and say, why is this happening? Because there are situations like that happening because God wants it, and there are situations like that happening because you've allowed it to. Now, that you've allowed it to isn't good. Don't be allowing that. If it's God, then you've got to go through it. But you haven't got to go through it if it isn't God. Have you? That's just the thing. As I say, in the church, they think that we have our own cross to bear. You're not going to get crucified. If you're not supposed to be crucified, you shouldn't be bearing a cross. Yeshua had to bear a cross because he had to be crucified. That was his ministry. If that's your ministry, get your cross. Be prepared for nails to be put through your wrists, through your hands and your feet. Right? Be prepared to be suffocated to death. Otherwise, stop trying to pretend you're carrying a cross. Because you're not, you weren't supposed to be. Get those bad influences out of your life. Certainly if God hasn't put them there. MOT your life, as I said before. MOT it. And get those things out of the way that are going to cause you problems. So there you go. Look, I'm going to leave you to it. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.